So hello everybody. Now the next one is the k. Now it is similar to Spanish but not exactly. In Spanish we're going to say ka. It's more like in front. The sound, when you make the sound, is more like towards your teeth. However, in English it comes more from behind. Okay, so it's like a glottal stop. Glottis is where you have your vocal cords, no, las cuerdas vocales. There you have to close the passage. So it's a k, no, like k. So it's a bit okay. So just make sure you make a little effort. So take care not to make many mistakes when you bake those cakes, Kate. Cake. That's okay. Again, take care not to make many mistakes when you bake those cakes, Kate. So now the wonderful world of the conditional. Now this is easier than it looks. Okay, we revised the conditionals the other day. We checked them in class too, but we'll go through them again. So basically, zero conditional is 100%. If or when it rains, remember, it's more common to say when because it always happens. When it rains, you get a word, 100%. Now, as you go down, first, second, and third, it becomes less and less likely until you get to the end. Okay? So let's go through this. Always true. First conditional is like 70% perhaps. No? If I go to Alicante, I'll buy some clothes. So it is something that is likely. Now, second conditional is either unlikely in the future, between 1% and 10%. If I won the lottery, I would disappear. So very unlikely in the future. Or unreal, which is 0% in the present. And the third conditional is 0%, but it's the one that is in the past. Okay, so it becomes like less likely as you move on. So we're going to look now at third conditional. Okay, hypothetical in the past. If I had learned the conditional, I wouldn't have made mistakes until now. Or if you had studied for the exam of Eureka, I wouldn't have told you to come last Friday. Okay, so something that happened in the past. This is the idea of regret. That's why very usually you will find this, I regret doing this. So if I had, or also, I wish plus what? The same. Wish plus past perfect. Okay, we had this in Rebecca. I wished we hadn't had visitors so early, or so early, I think. Okay, so regret ing. Oh, this was in example unit 3 or 4. You had this, or 2. I regretted not studying or not doing more when I was at school. Okay, so all of this. So this has to do with the listening about the Matthew Sayed or CA, I don't remember, the ping pong player. Okay, so read the sentences and see whether you agree here. Matthew Sayed. So there's something we can do in class when you come. Okay, so make sure you stop telling them and you print them. Now, can you make these rules true? Stop it. I'm going to give you answers in 3, 2, 1. We've seen it. Hypothetical, no, speculate about the past. Something in the past. Everything happened in the past. The if can come first or second. Doesn't matter. It's like all conditionals, it can come first or second. If I had, okay, past perfect. And in the other part, would have, which is what we have here. Okay. If plus past perfect, and then subject plus would have done something. Okay, past perfect is had. If I had studied hard, I would have passed my exams. You have to be very careful with reality. So, did you study hard? No. Did you pass your exams? No. Can you do anything about it? No. No. Okay, so notice you have to say the opposite. It's like saying, it's like one of the same conditional uses we've seen. If I were told, I'm not. So if I had been told, I would have played basketball. Okay. In any case, we'll go through this. So you have the forms. This is basic. Okay. It doesn't appear here, but I'll tell you. I don't know if I have it here. With not here. Okay. It's the same as. Where do I have this? I think I had it. Anyway, instead of would, you can say could and might. Might have or may have. Now, what's the difference between using would have and could have? The same as in the same conditional. Okay, could is the idea of being able. So when I wasn't told, if I had been told, I could have played basketball. Perhaps I wouldn't have, but I would have been able to, but I was too short, so I couldn't. Or I didn't have money. If I had had more money, I could have bought the iPhone 12 instead of the iPhone 5. Okay, but I didn't have, so I didn't have that money, so I couldn't do it. It might have is perhaps. If I had had money, I might have bought a Ferrari. Who knows? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. Okay, so you can use any of the three, but it depends on the idea. Sometimes people use could all the time. Could is if you want to say that you would have been able to do it. Okay, and would is this would have happened. Okay, this yes, so this yes. That's what would means. Okay, so now number 3, it's about Cavendish. Okay, he was a cyclist. I don't think he's cycling anymore professionally. I don't remember. So notice when you have if, when you don't have if incomplete, then with the correct form, notice a couple of things. Enforced. We've seen from force, enforced. And to prove people wrong, determined to. No one will change your mind, so you are determined to do something. So you've done it. I'm going to give the answers in 3, 2, 1. A bit more. If plus past perfect, so the other parties wouldn't have. Now, this is easy because you have the negative when you have the negative. So that's it. Okay. If he hadn't, wouldn't have had. If he hadn't failed, he might not have. So who knows? That's why he might, perhaps. He wouldn't have succeeded. Notice the spelling of succeed. If past perfect. Okay. So very, very, very easy. So this is what you need to do in exercise 4. We'll get further practice in class anyway. Okay, when you come to class. Now you have situations. Now important. What part of the information comes with if? Okay, you have the condition and then you have the result of that condition. If it rains, you will get wet. So getting wet is the result of if that condition takes place. So you have to decide what comes with if. Again, the condition, what happens first. Okay, and this is the result clause. So this is what happens second in time, or what would have happened second. Okay, so notice here you don't start with you. You have the if here. Okay, so this is the result first. Okay, that's one thing, and then you have to use the third form of the verbs in both of them because would have done if I had done. So where won, leave left left, checked is regular, save is regular, paid more or less regular, paid. I know you have more verbs. Hit is the same. Hit, set, held is the same. Gone. Okay. No, but this is lost. Okay. Ready? So, for example, I was when a deer driven more slowly. So this is the condition. Okay. So if I had been driving more slowly, the condition this wouldn't have happened. So this is number 2. Okay. Where is Hilbert? This is the condition. This is the result. Number 2. This goes with. Okay. This goes with if. And like this. Okay. Think about what happens first. That's what goes with if, whether it's at the beginning of the sentence or the second. But that's the if clause. So ready? Make sure the resulting sentences are correct. It makes sense. Notice reality. You will normally have to change it. Okay. So I was able to break. You wouldn't have had. Okay. I'm just taking the answers. 3, 2, 1. Okay. You hit your head. So you wouldn't have hit your head if you had been wearing. So this is number 1. If I had left earlier, I didn't. You wouldn't have got held up. You got held up. Remember, to get held up in traffic is retenido. We saw this in unit 6 or 7. The one about Shangri-La. But you had things about tickets and round tickets and so on. Okay, if you had checked it, you didn't. You wouldn't have got stuck. You got stuck at the Atascado. You wouldn't have lost all your work if you had saved it, so you didn't save it. So okay, notice that you always say the opposite of what happened. You lost it, so you didn't have lost it. You were not paying attention, so if you had been paying attention, you would have had. Okay. Now this is a bit more complicated. You can prepare it for tomorrow. Okay, so take notes about 5 regrets. For example, I didn't work in France, so I never learned French correctly. Well, more correctly, yes, but not enough so that I can remember perfectly. Okay, when you don't get really high level, then it's easier to forget. If your level is really high, then you forget very little, especially if you practice. Okay, so 5 regrets. Oh, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And then you can write a third conditional sentence. If I had worked in France, I would have learned French much better. Okay, so you need 5 situations and then your 5 third conditional sentences. Then when you come to class, then people will have to tell you things. Yes, and if you hadn't done that, you'd have been able to blah blah. Okay, so we'll do this in class, but you have to write 5 situations. Okay, 5 regrets that you have. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.